Hello, I'm the Dynamic Duover, and welcome to the second episode of the Doctor Who Reviews, a series going on my channel so far. We're about to review the story that started the entire new run of Doctor Who, Rose. So, get ready to run. But anyway, so we begin the story seeing parts of Rose's life. Like she has a mom, a boyfriend, she has a job, she has a nice life. But then, one day, when she enters the basement of the place she works at, terrible way to die, if I say so, horror movie style. So, Rose continues to look for her friend until one moment later the mannequin stopped to move and an Auton comes near her ready to karate chop her instead of just shooting her. Like the Auton's probably like, it's Friday, I've done the entire shooting people before. I'll try something new. Karate chop people. Hiya! So then this mysterious man comes up to her, grabs her hand, and says, "Run." So we begin the adventure with the Doctor. So he introduces himself to Rose. He's the Doctor. Big ears, leather jacket. Like, a bit odd for the Doctor after all of his other lives being so, what's the word I'm looking for? Their clothing has been insane. Like, for example, for the Sixth Doctor, he wore a multiple color jacket. The Fifth Doctor wore a sticker sari, and the Ninth Doctor just wore a leather jacket. So of all the Doctor's outfit, his is the most ordinary. But I like it because after the Time War, he doesn't want to be noticed. He doesn't want people to think he's some kind of Time Lord. To think he's just a regular person. That's my point of view why the Doctor chose the leather jacket look. So we continue on to the story. The Doctor tells Rose to go home, and then he blows up the building with all the Autons in it. I wonder if there was anyone staying there late. Like, couldn't there have been, I don't know, a janitor or some manager staying late for tonight? How many people were killed in that explosion, I wonder? But anyways, let's continue. So, Rose walks past the TARDIS, and that. So I think it would have been great if all of this happened before the Titans. Have the camera zoom onto the TARDIS, then go into the Titans. But I can understand why Russell T Davies wanted to put this after the Titans. He didn't want to did what the Americans did with the TV movie. Like, they threw everything at us. They threw the TARDIS. They threw Regeneration. They threw the Master at us straight away. Most Americans would not even know what Doctor Who was at this time. Like, they wouldn't even know that what the TARDIS was, or let alone that was where the Doctor was, or this police box was big on the inside. Like, no, the Americans would have never known that. But anyways, let's get back to 2005 with Rose. So after that night, Mickey comes over to Rose's place, and he's so concerned about her, thanking the heavens for her being alive. And Rose doesn't care. Like I know I'm gonna get a lot of Rose lovers. Like, I don't like Rose. I just can't stand her. And I know there's going to be a lot of Rose fans, people who love her, going to say, she's the best companion ever. She's the Doctor's true love. And tell me this. What has Rose ever truly done for the Doctor? And don't use Bad Wolf, for example. Like, she just used it to get. She didn't even know that was going to happen. That was an accident. That she became Bad Wolf. And she's so selfish. Like, ugh, she just makes me so mad. She acts like she's the most important person in the entire planet. All the time. She thinks there could ever be something between her and the Doctor. Like, ugh! Like, she's just so annoying. She even treats Mickey like garbage. She doesn't even care about him. Even like to Mickey, she is his entire life, and she just walks all over Mickey. But anyways, this isn't a Rose rant. Let's get back to the story. So that night, Rose is all curious about who this man was. And then the Doctor knocks on her door, and she's so surprised. You see, the Doctor tracked the Auton arm that Rose got after the Doctor ripped it off Auton and gave it to her. Wait, one thing I don't understand. If he needed that arm, why give it to Rose? Why didn't he take it out of her hand before she left? But anyways, that's just my own personal opinion. Maybe you didn't even know. So then we continue on after arm wrestle. See what I did there? With the Auton, the Doctor and Rose disarmed it. I don't know, I'm just doing terrible jokes. Anyways, we continue down to the flat floor, the final outside, where the Doctor gives Rose his amazing speech about how he can fear the turn of the earth. Now that scene, that speech, is so overlooked in Doctor Who history. That was one of the moments that we got to truly know about this man that we call the Doctor. So after the Doctor leaves in his TARDIS, Rose is so curious. She heads to this conspiracy guy to talk to him. And back in 2005, conspiracies were all over the place. Like many people talked about conspiracies, but this guy wasn't just some nerd living in his parents' basement. He actually had a life, a wife, children, so he wasn't a normal conspiracy guy. So we got to learn about the Ninth Doctor's history, about him traveling to different places. Like, we don't know how long that the Ninth Doctor has been the Ninth Doctor. Like, back then, not many people knew what regeneration was. So I am really glad Russell T Davies only gave us a hint of regeneration here. Because if we remember, the conspiracy guy said that he thinks that it's a title passed on to son, father to son. Like, because he mentions that there has been other people with the name Doctor. So I think that was a nice Easter egg there. So after Rose goes back to Mickey, who's been replaced by Auton by this point, says that this guy is just a crazy conspiracy theorist guy. Yeah, not like you've been attacked by aliens or living mannequins. Yeah, just that guy, just completely crazy. Anyways, let's continue. So later that night, Rose and Mickey go out for dinner, and Rose is not even paying attention to Mickey. Like, nothing. Like, I don't like Rose. I just don't. Like, I wish I didn't have to mention her. Like I like her with the Ninth Doctor. I do like Rose, with the Ninth Doctor. It's just with 10, she just gets annoying. Like, she was great in season 1, I will say that. But in season 2 and season 4, she's just terrible. Okay? So I do like Rose, but with the Ninth Doctor. And Ninth Doctor only. Okay? So you don't have to send all those hateful comments to me. Okay? Because I do like Rose with the Ninth Doctor. Okay? So let's continue. So the Doctor finds Rose and Dalton Mickey and pulls his head off. And Anna, Rose, and Mickey run away from the headless Mickey. We just need a horse for him. And I have a joke. I will stop now. So we head to the back of this restaurant. And we see the TARDIS, and the Doctor walks into there. And Rose is trying to find another way out, because to her that's just a regular box. And when she enters the room, we don't see it. Like, we see it from her point of view. She's shocked. She runs back out, circles it, and I bet people back then were like, why is she shocked? It's just a regular box. But then, when she enters it again, we see all of it, and it's bigger on the inside. It has an organic look to it, which is a nice difference to the classic era. Like, back in the 80s, they kind of just added to the design of the TARDIS back then. Like, there wasn't really any major developments between the 70s and 80s. Like, the concept mostly looked the same, like, except in the late 80s with the high tech. But anyways, the background really just stayed the same. It wasn't until the 8th Doctor's TARDIS that we actually saw a new difference to the TARDIS. But this was a completely new look to it. It felt organic. Like, Russell T Davies, in a later episode of his, stated that the TARDIS is alive. And this just makes this idea so much better to see these. It's like the TARDIS is growing as we watch it. That's something I like about this concept. Anyways, so Rose is completely shocked by this turn of events. And the Doctor explains to Rose that this is the TARDIS, time and relative dimensions in space. And she's so shocked and upset, and the Doctor just thinks, humans, they're just shocked by things. But this is one of the few moments that we can see Rose does care about Mickey, when she is so afraid that he has been killed. And the Doctor doesn't even think about that. Like the Ninth Doctor, sometimes he understands humans, but this was one of the few moments that he doesn't know. It doesn't feel like he knows anything about humans back in the first episode. But anyways, here's Dr. Gross. So after tracing the Autons back to their home base, we face the nesting consciousness. And it is so much better than that octopus. Instead of those tentacles, we see this living plastic lava face. And I think that's something that has improved greatly in Doctor Who. The CGI. Like, if this was the 70s, we would have just seen the tentacles of Auton. But this shows so much more of the Auton. And I can't speak today. We were also introduced to the Time Warp, a story arc that kept on going for 8 years. So as we continue to understand from what from what the doctor's trying to tell us about the Time Lord in small sentences. I can't speak to them. In small phrases, that there was some sort of war that happened. So, as we continue, the Doctor has a secret weapon, anti-plastic, that he drops, and the mannequins get it. The Autons now have the anti-plastic, and they're starting to invade the entire London, maybe England. Like, did anywhere else get affected by the strange electricity from the Ferris wheel, or was it just did anywhere else in England suffer from the same thing? Yeah. Anyways, let's just continue. So the attack on London has started. People are running, people are dying. Autons are taking their time to kill people because where Jackie Tyler is, the Autons could have shot her 5 times by now. But no, we go back to the underground base where Rose saved the day by tackling all the Autons, saving Mickey and the Doctor, getting to the TARDIS, throwing that anti-plastic into the nesting by accident, and destroying the nesting consciousness, saving the entire city of London. So then we arrive in an alley in London, and we see Mickey afraid, being scared, hiding behind Rose. And the Doctor offers Rose to come with him. Like, I can see why the Doctor asked Rose to come with him. Like, this person saved his life. Yeah, of course I would ask this person to come with me. I can see that point. But Rose declines an offer, and the Doctor leaves. And if you have the 50th anniversary collection, you get to see a story set between these events, why the Doctor was gone. And it's a very good story. You guys should read it. Anyways, as Rose and Mickey begin to head back to find Rose's mom, Jackie, the TARDIS comes back and the Doctor tells Rose it also travels in time. And Rose says goodbye to Mickey and runs into the TARDIS. So, I think this is a great introduction to Doctor Who. Like, I can see high hopes for the rest of the season. Like, this was a great way to introduce the new generation of Whovians to Doctor Who. Like, they didn't do what the Americans did, like throwing everything at us. They led us. They gave us more bits of information. And when we were ready, they revered the big important things. Like I'm pretty sure we don't find out what species the Doctor is until the 2nd episode, but I'm not sure. Like, I haven't watched the 2nd episode in a while. But anyways, I give Rose a 7 out of 10. So this is the Dynamic Do-Over, and you have just watched my 2nd review. Until next time.